want to tell you a joke
Yeah.
of Heifetz performing somewhere, and he played on one of the best violins. And an elderly lady went to him and she said, "Oh, Mr. Heifetz, oh, what a beautiful sound your violin makes." And he put it to his ear and said, "Oh, it's strange, I don't hear anything." Hello, my name is Isabelle Fournier, and I'm principal second violin with Symphony Nova Scotia.
And I'm Curtis Dietz. I'm second trumpet with Symphony Nova Scotia. And Isabelle and I have played together for many years.
Yes.
I'm trying to think how many years it is now. We've been in the orchestra.
I think since 2002.
Wow, it's 20 plus years.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, just have so much respect for you as a violinist. So it's really fun to talk about a violin concerto with you, because I always want to get the inside scoop from people who play that instrument, you know. And I think part of what we're doing here is giving people an inside scoop on what it's like to play the music. And these are two really super famous pieces, right?
Yes.
And one unknown piece, which is going to be really interesting, I think.
Yes, yeah. The first piece we'll play is by composer James Lee III. And we haven't yet seen the music. So what we know is that the piece is called Emotive Transformations, and that he wrote it after his father died. And from what I could read about it is that he wanted to convey the stages of grief. And so I'm sure it sounds very promising for a piece of music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, when a concert's picked, I assume Holly picked this concert or programmed it.
I think. Assume,
but anyway, I like when it comes together, as they really relate to each other, the pieces. So I think of something that's like an emotive piece goes really well with these two pieces, right?
Yes.
Because they're so very well. The concerto, very emotive, obviously, and then there's so many emotive things in the Dvořák. And I would just say the Mendelssohn, to me, for violin, just sitting, we've played it, it gets played a lot. I'll say just both these pieces are like the classical hits, they are. And I've heard it said in pop music, a hit is a hit. They don't really know why something's a hit, and I, but they are. People love certain things, and for violin, I think that for me, the Mendelssohn just seems so exposed.
Yes.
Is it, as a concerto?
Oh yes, it is. Yeah, it broke new ground, I think. For instance, until then, I believe concertos had always a kind of overture that covered themes from the concerto and so on, and that the orchestra played before the soloist played. But this, it's almost as though the violin just joins the music. It's almost, from the, I think, it's the second measure or something. It's incredible, and it had never been done before. Mm-hmm. And even just this beginning like this, with the violin sort of taking over and being so present and being the voice with the orchestra accompaniment, it inspired many composers after that. Like even Shostakovich, Benjamin Britten, you name it. So many concertos that were written much later were inspired by Mendelssohn. Even where he placed the cadenza in the first movement, many did that. Also, he wrote out the cadenza himself because he didn't want violinist to improvise a cadenza for his own concerto, and what a gorgeous cadenza it is as well. So,
and we have an amazing player, Geneva Lewis.
Yes,
play this
I'm
piece.
very excited to hear her. Yeah.
There's a reason we do these pieces over and over, is because they're masterpieces, and it's always great to play them. But the Dvořák now, we haven't done that in a while. I don't know if we've done it. I did it when I was younger a fair few times, but have you done it recently?
No, I have. I've certainly never done it since I'm here in Halifax. since 2002. I've not done it.
So it's great we're doing it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that too, it's like the Mendelssohn concerto. It was an instant hit apparently with the audiences, and not only in America, where it was premiered, but in the old world, in Europe. I think I read somewhere that in 1978 in London, there was no symphony that had been played as much as Dvořák's New World. Yeah.
Oh. Well, it's always nice to hear of a success in the lifetime rather than discovered after they were gone, sort of thing. Well, Dvořák's writing, I don't know how it works for violin and strings, but for brass, it's very, well, I think in general for everybody, if he was a painter, I'd say he's broad strokes, like big, broad strokes of composing, Everybody's, it's very full sounding. Well, I think it's great because it's like a new world sound. It's like this immense, you feel like these immense opening spaces. You know what I mean, almost?
Yes.
Which is how they must have viewed it, I think.
Being a violinist, I love how he spins melodies. His melodies keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, now the melody will come to an end, but then it takes a turn and then it just keeps on going. And to be able to do that, and it sounds effortless, it sounds natural, it sounds...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's some big solos in this too. The English horn solo is the first time the person plays is then they have to sit and wait, and then they have to play this big solo.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I never realized that either. Wow. So no pressure, Brian.
Yeah.
But,
I heard that he had originally written this solo for clarinet.
Oh, really?
And so one of his pupils, around the time when he lived in the US, one of his pupils was a Black American young man who became a composer. Apparently he had an incredible baritone voice. And this man, I think his name was Harry Burleigh, and he lived a long time and had a great career as a classical composer. And apparently he had such a gorgeous voice, and he introduced Dvořák to spirituals.
Oh, really?
And so getting to know him, because he taught him composition, so on, and hearing him sing, he wanted the voice of this solo to sound like Harry Burleigh's voice, so then he chose the English horn.
Wow.
He switched instruments so that it sounds more like his voice.
Oh.
And
interesting.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a great concert.
Yes.
And it's nice chatting with you.
It's so
as
nice,
always.
Curtis. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Anyway, I hope you guys up there come to this concert. It's going to be really fantastic, and we actually really are excited to play it. So
yes.
We're hoping you come.
Yes. Yes. See you there.
See you there. See you there.